Hey guys, welcome to J-Dub Designs. My name is Jeff, otherwise known as J-Dub, and I want to introduce you to our maker space. This video is going to take you on a shop tour that will show you the space where we create, and also is going to introduce you to a space we call the loft. These spaces are part of what we also call the carriage house, otherwise known as the garage. Over the course of the last 2 years, we've been taking some time to upgrade this space so that we could move in this direction. So I really appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to check this out. Cue the intro.
My desire to create goes back a ways. My dad was a maker, he was a welder, an instrument maker, and really a jack of all trades. My brother's a builder as well. You know what? And my sister likes to build too. In fact, the music you hear is my brother playing the banjo from his album Winds of Winfield. I'll link it in the notes so you can check it out if you like. When I was around shop class in high school, the smell of sawdust, the ability to make something with your bare hands, and a tool all combined to help me know I was made to create. You are too. And lately, several makers I subscribe to have inspired me to chronicle my journey of creating. Feel free to like this video or subscribe, and you can hit the bell so you'll be notified of any future content. Now let's take a look at the shop. The shop is an ever-evolving thing. Whatever space you have, you spend a lot of time making it better. Whether it's a garage, a dedicated building, a shed, or a basement, with just a little effort, you can turn the space into something where one-of-a-kind pieces emerge. Because my shop is in our garage, I've made sure all of my equipment is on wheels so we can still pull a big vehicle in for safekeeping or maintenance. This building is somewhere around 100 years old. It used to be a carriage house, and because the needs changed over the years and it was built with native timber, the second story was unusable space because of warping and bending over time. That has been resolved by installing new beams and joists, and now the upstairs is turned into a surprisingly beautiful space with exposed brick and rustic charm. We'll get to that later. At the heart of my shop is my table saw. It's a DeWalt DW 746 hybrid cabinet saw with a 1 3/4 horsepower motor. I was able to purchase the saw used from a fellow north of our location. I've had the saw for about 5 years. Next to the table saw is an assembly table. Made this not long ago. As you can see, it serves me well by giving me a place to put things together and more. It also has storage underneath. Currently, my daughter and son-in-law's newly joined walnut table is in the works. It's going to be beautiful. In the corner of the shop is the 200 amp service I installed a few years ago. That's been a huge help, erasing any concerns with having enough power for tools. I remember running the table saw off of the feed from the house and constantly tripping the breaker because the circuit was overloaded. Next to the power panel will be where the dust collection goes. It's contained in all of the boxes you see here. It is a Clearview CV 1800 with a 5 horsepower motor. I'm excited for how much this will help the shop. Next to where the dust collector goes is the air compressor. Haven't really done much with this yet, but I'm looking forward to in the future making sure that we have air lines throughout the shop. Next to the air compressor is a Delta 18-inch 2 horsepower bandsaw. I've used it some, but honestly not a lot, so I'm looking forward to learning how to use this more. Right next to the bandsaw is the miter saw station. Several makers inspired this miter saw station. There's Jay Bates, King's Fine Woodworking, Johnny Brooks. Each of them helped me land on a design that takes care of my needs and works in my shop. The miter saw is a Bosch Axial Glide Model GCM 12 SD. With this miter saw station, you have upper and lower cabinets, lots of storage. It is a huge help. Next in line is the Delta Shaper. I was able to pick up this piece of equipment with a good friend of mine. I believe it's 3 horsepower. I'm sure there are projects in the future where the Shaper will be super helpful. Moving past the shaper, we have a couple new additions to the space. You can see the Grizzly 15-inch helical head planer and a Grizzly 8-inch helical head jointer. These two pieces have helped take capabilities to the next level. Here in the corner is the clamp rack inspired by, once again, J-Baits. I'll probably be reworking this rack and moving the clamps to a different location to better meet my shop needs. Moving over into this area, there's the drill press cabinet. It's also a new addition to the shop as well. Still awaiting some paint, so everything matches and looks good. Recently, I was able to drill some upper and lower rails for a banister on this, and it made the project a whole lot easier. To the left of the drill press cabinet, we have the corner for plywood storage right now. Moving to the right, there's a workbench with upper and lower cabinets. Just a tip for those of you making your own drawers in the future, don't go cheap on drawer slides. I did so and regretted it. The top on this workbench is a hard maple. A friend of mine gave me the maple and it has been a huge blessing. On the workbench top, you can see some antique legs we purchased from an antique store. Those seem to go together. Those legs will be part of a desk assembly I'll be sharing with you in the future. Above the workbench, we have some storage racks for wood. Storage, at least in my shop, is a big deal, and these racks have really helped. As part of the workbench, I wanted to make sure I had space for the Craig Foreman pocket hole tool, so I sized the cabinet so the Foreman could set on the top while being even with the workbench on its left. It's worked very well for any pocket holes I've needed to make. One of the best things I did for the shop is upgrade the lighting. I went with an LED product by the name of Barina. I highly recommend them because of how great a solution they've been, and they're really reasonable in cost. Over here is where the feature wall is for the shop. On this wall will be some fine hand tools. I'd like to continue improving in craftsmanship, and learning fine woodworking with hand tools is definitely a way to do it. For future upgrades in the shop, I'll be installing the dust collection system, adding air lines throughout the shop, organizing all of the drawers for easy tool access, finish painting the assembly table and drill press cabinets, as well as having the floor painted, flaked, and sealed. Over the past few months, my wife and I have spent some time working in what we're calling the loft. Now, this space is gorgeous. So let's head on up and check it out. As you move up the stairs, you can see we use the old flooring for stair treads and risers. We wanted to maintain an industrial, chic look. Listen to those words. Industrial, chic look. Chic. Just last week, we installed the banister and railing. It's made of maple and poplar posts with walnut upper and lower rails. Spindles, they're just simple black pipe. This was a fun project because of the spacing I knew we wanted and the math involved to get there. Hey, sometimes for some of us, mathing is hard. Previous to the banister install, we put in the hardwood floor. It's a rustic white oak from a local sawmill called Pike Lumber. Great place, great products, and great people. We'll be sanding and sealing the floor in the next few weeks. This space will also serve as my office. The office space will be by this window with bookcases, and the desk will be out front. And then over here you can see my little oasis with a place to read, contemplate, and when necessary, take a load off. And then if you turn around, you can see in this area will be the home of a podcast. It's going to be awesome. For the future of the loft, I'll be making the desk, the shelving, end table, coffee table, and possibly installing a bathroom in the northeast corner. This space has already been a huge help. We had my wife's birthday party, and our son and his bride had their wedding up there as well. Well, that's it for the shop tour. Thanks for taking time to join me on it. Please feel free to like this video and subscribe to the channel. You can also hit the bell so you'll be notified of any future videos when they come out. Be looking out for new content coming in the next few weeks, showing you how to make a table, cabinets, and more. And above all, remember, you were made to create.